Okay, David, that was an end-to-end game, a bit breathless at times, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're not being silly. We know that there's 38 games in this league, and we know we're not going to play the kind of football that we have been doing in all 38. There are times when teams are going to make it difficult for us. It's a tight pitch here. There's not a great deal of space. Ironically, under the lights, at night time as it is, it becomes that bit more difficult. The atmosphere in here. They gave everything that they had, I think, Queen's Park Rangers, and for that they made it difficult for us, both in the way that they battled, competed, ran, and got in our faces and made it difficult for us to get our passing game going. But in many ways, the best thing about it is the fact that we're a goal down and we get back into the game and go 2-1. And we don't go under when they've equalised either. We've gone on, and I always felt there was a goal in us. I think that's what's been synonymous with us this season. We've looked as though we can score goals at any time with the kind of players that we've got. And even in the first half, I just thought we looked more dangerous than them. They were always going to score. If they were going to score, then it was going to be because they managed to just get people in the box and really, rather than create a goal, but just work a goal. Whereas I always felt that we had the opportunity to hit them on a break down the sides of their centre halves and punish them.
And tiredness is about to come into it, but we've, I think, won 3 and drawn 1 of the post-Champions League game. Has that pleased you?
It has. It's not just the tiredness. We played Villarreal on a Wednesday. We flew over there on a Tuesday, played in a tough game in Villarreal, and then came into this game, and we with the kind of knocks that you get in games. David Silva's carrying a knock. Sami Nasri sat on the bench with a knock on his knee, tendonitis in his knee. So it's difficult really to make sure that you feel as though you needed another 24 hours for people to get that freshness back into them. We swapped it round, made half a dozen changes or so, again, which has been what we've been doing all season really. And although it gave us the freshness, the boys looked as though they still had that travelling in the legs a little bit, and we're not going to be as sharp and as bright as we have been in certain games. But the beauty of it is that we've still taken the 3 points in this game, and that's a great fillip for the squad to take.
It's unusual that our defence has played so well that Fulham, Bolton and QPR have all scored twice against us, isn't it?
Well, I don't know whether it's unusual. I think it's just a byproduct of the fact that we're offensive. I think our defensive record this season is still up there with the top teams. I don't think it's we're conceding more goals than we did do last season, but we're certainly scoring more goals than we did do last season. And I think the players that have come to the club both last season and this summer as well are offensive players. They have offensive characteristics, and I think that once you've got players like that, then you've got to play to their strengths. And as a result of that, the defence is going to come under pressure a couple of times. It's something we'll look at. It's something that we try and not do. We don't want to concede goals, but it's a fine balance. We could certainly shore things up and make sure that we become very, very hard to score against, but we wouldn't have the same offensive characteristics in the team as we have shown all season.
And vital to go in the international break with 3 points, and what's the lads all going to do now, all off to various parts of the world?
Yeah, we got 2 weeks before our next game, but there's they're international friendlies, international qualifiers for the likes of Bosnia, Edin Dzeko, Montenegro, Stefan Savic. Pablo and Sergio will be jetting off to Argentina to play in World Cup qualifying games. So, listen, that's the life of a footballer these days. It's people will go away and play with their international teams, but it's a break from mentally. It's a break for us to be able to look at the next game against Newcastle, and those guys that don't go off with their international sides can get over some of the little niggles that they've got. So hopefully we'll see what comes back through the door after the international break, and hopefully everybody will come back and we'll have a clean bill of health to pick a side to go and try and win a game against Newcastle.
You're off back home to start a few rockets off for the kids now?
It'll be too late when we get back. It might be tomorrow.
Okay, thanks David.
Pleasure, thank you.